Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Isaac, Axicus, Ike, whatever name. Yeah, I just came on here to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day, man. I gotta talk about it. I gotta leave my review on my way to work. I watched it last night, yesterday evening at 7, man. It was incredible. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I would glaze it as much as most people and say that it's like better than Spider-Man 2 in the Raimi universe. I don't know if I'd say it's the best Spider-Man movie ever, but man, did I love this movie. And I mean, long story short, I'd probably rate it somewhere around an 8.5, maybe even a 9. I love the movie. It was incredible. I don't think it's a perfect score. I think certain things, there were moments where we lost the plot. Like, it started incredibly, in my opinion. The first half was like straight peak. It's what I wanted to see. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, you took New York from being a setting to the main character in that first half. Like, we really got to see a lot of more like street level like villains, and seeing Spider-Man just actually be a part of his community. Um, Instead of always being like, they introduced Spider-Man, he was fighting Thanos on another planet. You feel me? Like, that's totally an Avengers level threat, but we never got to see the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And we got to see that here. And it was absolutely amazing. Really, really well shot. I love it. And in terms of cinematography, the way they shot this movie, it was absolute peak, especially in the beginning. So at some point, it's just like, the movie shifted. It didn't even feel like it was Spider-Man's movie as much in the second half. Like, other side characters really started to take that focus away from it. So there's that, But regardless, the main plot was really, really special, and it's relatable to Spider-Man 2 from the Raimi universe, because it deals with, of course, Spider-Man trying to he's losing his Peter Parker, right? He's leaning too heavy into wearing the mask to a point where it's affecting his personal life, and he's sacrificing who he is, and not so much sacrificing it. It's, in this case, evolving into something else, right? We saw in the trailer his eyes and his powers were changing, so he's going through an evolution of sorts. And it's really like one of those coming of age type of things, stories, and also he's going through some trauma and all the stress, and it's affecting him, right? He's lonely, so he gets to a point where it's like, you need to really lock in and accept who you are, and still prioritize yourself. Not just the mask, but the person under it. He was very much ignoring himself and putting all of his focus into his passion, into his work, and that's something that we can all relate to. Sometimes we start to ignore friends and family when we lean too heavy into our work. So that's definitely a really relatable message for a lot of people at some point in life. And with that, they killed it. Honestly, it was a beautiful story. Because it's like Spider-Man, and he's keeping tabs on his best friends, his loved ones, the ones that he's got left, right? Ned and MJ, and it's beautiful to see how he moves in a way that I think just anybody would. You're keeping tabs on social media, you're constantly thinking about them. He's still got that note that he wrote for MJ to reveal himself to her, but he just wouldn't do. And it's like, this is all really well done, and I think it progresses in a beautiful way, and I'm here for it. So there's really no complaints there. I think Peter Parker's story was actually really, really well done. I'd say it was immaculate. But the Spider-Man side of things, I feel like in the second half, it stopped being a Spider-Man movie so much. Sadie Sink's character really took the forefront. They really wanted to set her up for more. And to be honest, I'm just not a fan of how they really went about her at the end. I don't like how her story ended. I feel like they definitely could have done this better in terms of setting her up for what's next, or maybe, I don't know, just showing how this interaction ends between the two of them. She just kind of disappears, and it's like, okay, well, all right, what now? There's nothing leaving us to maybe even think what could be coming. But what else? Well, Punisher. Oh, he did incredible, I gotta say. He played a way bigger role than I thought he would. I'm not gonna lie, yo. The Punisher was really one of the main characters here, and I'm not mad about it. I'm actually really happy they chose it. Their dynamic was incredible. It's like they're two brothers, you know. They're constantly just like fighting, and it's super funny. But they use the Punisher as almost a comedic relief and as a good cop, bad cop type of situation. And it's an interesting take, I'd say. I didn't think this is the route they were gonna take. I thought they were gonna try to keep it more serious and just bring them in for shorter periods of time to like maybe balance them out or do the things that Spider-Man wouldn't. But regardless, like they really had each other's back this movie, and they were constantly there for each other. So that was super cool. Definitely setting up a good relationship, and also setting up what seems like a prequel to this, where apparently Spider-Man saved Punisher's ass in Staten Island or something. They have some type of history together before this movie, so that I would hope could lead to Spider-Man being in a Punisher episode, maybe in his series, which would be incredible and something I always wanted to see is Spider-Man in a rated R film or series where he could truly like not hold back, where we could see him at his full potential. Not to say like I need him, taking people out, but just simply like seeing his real feats, how he would talk, his quips, like the experiences he could be going through, right? Hulk was another character that showed up a lot, and not I want to say a lot, but he played a pretty big role, I'd say. Bruce Banner, Hulk, and yeah, like I think it was really interesting how they went about him. It makes sense for the story for Bruce to be there, and Professor Bruce. But then the Hulk seemed a little forced, but at the same time, it was epic, and it was like the best showing of Hulk that we've ever seen in the MCU. They've never done the Hulk better, to be honest. Like the Hulk has never been done right. He's always been held back, or I don't know. Like Thor Ragnarok was cool to see him in the fighting Thor and whatnot, but this was a really cool twist. I don't necessarily know if I like how it ended with him either. They kind of just left him be at one point as well. Like, they didn't really like follow up on him either. So yeah. So to me, the main thing I didn't like was how they left some of these plot lines just like open. Like they didn't feel like there was any closure to them. So that was a little strange. But like, overall, like I said, absolutely gorgeous how they shot this movie. I love the first half for New York and the culture and the people. They use a lot of like smaller actors to play good size like roles here. I feel like when it came to New York, right? And yeah, it's just that you see like a lot of people being used in the trailer. You can see someone speaking through the New Yorkers. They were using them, and that led to some really interesting people talking. That almost led me to think of other people. I almost feel like I heard a random New Yorker being used to talk, and he sounded just like Miles Morales, and it got me thinking, like, yo, could that be him? Could that have been like them teasing potentially this moment? But I don't know. Time will tell. You feel me? So yeah. Anyways, go watch Brand New Day. It's incredible. I love the movie. 100%. It's setting up this new trilogy to be amazing. We had the Home series. Now we got the Day series trilogy, and I'm so excited for what's to come. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't set up a whole lot for what's to come. Honestly, there's only one credit scene at the end, and it's definitely worth sticking out to. It's at the very end, mind you, so you gotta sit through the whole credits. But really well, self-contained story. Beautifully shot, beautifully done. The actors did great. I just feel like certain things with the story could have been closed off better. And yeah, man, I'm excited. So tap in. Also, I mean, I love to see the promotions for what they're doing with Brand New Day. You can get the skins for Hulk and Spider-Man and Marvel Rivals. You got Fortnite dropping the Brand New Day skin. You got also the Insomniac Spider-Man video game dropping Brand New Day and Marvel Tokon skins. Very cool. So they're going hard on that. I will say another thing I didn't like was just the marketing for Brand New Day. They did not need to hold back Sadie Sink's character. That was some bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. That was totally unnecessary, and almost I feel like it took away from the film because they really like held back on her side of things instead of just making her a part of the story from the get-go, which maybe would have made her character develop a little bit smoother. So that's something that like I just felt like was very almost like anticlimactic, and it didn't need to be done, and almost messed with the pacing a little bit on her development. And yeah, even the reveal was nothing grandeur. You feel me? It was pretty just much like, oh, and she's this. You know, this is who she is, and like really quickly. And so it was like, okay, that yeah, felt unnecessary. Like why are we doing this? But anyways, that's what I think. You know the vibes. Thanks for tapping in, and peace.